Hello. Hope everybody's having a good day and enjoying themselves. I put up this video so I could read some of my books, so nobody gets the mistaken identity that it's evil and darkness. Well, we're gonna start. My name is Joe E. Amaral. J-O-E, middle name E, last name Amaral. A-M-A-R-A-L. What I'm going to do today is read a little bit about each book. In Amazon, you're only going to catch so many pages of a book and around there. So I'm going to read a little bit about each book. This book here that I'm getting is short screenplays by Joe E. Amaral, and the back is this. This book is out of print right now. I took it out. I needed to fix it up. I should be able to bring it back onto the market. Right now, I'm still tinkering with it. So until I get it the way I want. So I can also read a little bit about that book too. I have 7 books all in total. If you watch my first video when I had a red shirt on, it shows all the books I did that. I'm going to try to explain a little bit more about each book, so you get an idea. I'm actually having a good day, so not bad. I didn't think I was going to come back for quite a bit, but I don't know. I felt the urge to share a little bit more. And if you're interested, I guess, about the books. First, we're going to start with a younger reader's book. Young children to adults. Anybody can read it. Stuff like that. It's called The Dove Eats Spaghetti. I think I had shown this before in the other video. Dove Eats Spaghetti. It's a children's book to adult book. I wrote this book a long time ago. I was writing dead poetry and short screenplays, and my younger niece she wanted to read my stuff, but she was about 6 years old. So I made this book for her that she could read it, and she did. And surprisingly, she's very bright. She could read it. I guess it's probably 9 years old to 12 years old, this book. But she was able to understand it and grasp it at 6 years old. So that was amazing in itself. And I could read something that you won't find in Amazon or anywhere where it shows about the book or look inside the book. So I can read a little bit there. I'm gonna need my glasses. So I do wear glasses. Nah, I do, but I don't know. I think I still look cool, but let's see. I'm gonna pick a story out, something that may not have shown up in Amazon or anywhere about the book and stuff like that. Something. I'm just trying to see. Here's a good one. This one's about my niece. My niece, I inspired her to write me a page in the book, and I just recorded it and I put it on the book. And her little story is The Haunted Cabin, and it goes like this. There was a spooky cabin that was haunted for years. A vicious dog with one eye guarded the cabin. A boy was lost in the woods. He went into the haunted cabin. He went in when he was 6 and came out when he was 11. When he was in the cabin for those 5 years, a ghost saw him and haunted him. He tried to escape. but the one-eyed dog growled at him. The ghost gave the boy a one eye too. Until then, he had a one eye. One day, the boy came back to the haunted cabin. The one-eyed dog took a sniff and ate the boy from head to toe, and he was never seen again. The end. And the name is my goddaughter, or my niece, and that is her story. This one you will not, that story you will not find it anywhere. That comes right from the book. It's more later on into the book. So we'll leave that to rest. Let's see, now getting a little older, but getting a little older, I'm wondering, a lot of stuff is for young readers and teenagers and adults. Let me see. We'll try Dead Poetry and Short Stories by Joey Amaral, the Halloween version. This is similar, very similar to Dead Poetry that I have. My Dead Poetry is this book that I'm advertising and selling. It's got a silver line on here, and that's what it is. Somebody else, some publishers have a different book in the front. It's all black with the keyhole, but that's not my property anymore. I have no support for them, but I support this one. And then the back looks like this, where I talk about it, and I can read one story for each. So we're gonna do Dead Poetry by Joey Amaral, and we'll see how that goes. Getting a little spooky. We'll just look at this one. This one is called Darkness. Dead Poetry, Darkness. Laughing and more laughter. Where am I? I couldn't see but darkness. Screams of agony were heard everywhere, somewhere, nowhere. The only thing louder in here was my fear. Will I see light again before something devours me slowly? I walk into the darkness. I bumped into the walls, which feels like flesh, crying into the darkness. Did screams echo? I felt rain, or was it blood poured out on me? Looking up, I couldn't see anything as I walked further in this darkness, not knowing the difference between rain or blood. It dawned on me that rain isn't sticky. This place began to give me flashes of scenes of my life. I can see my life clearly in the darkness, my life in darkness. But all the poems are not exactly like that. There's some light ones in here. This is the book I've read from you, the poem there. They're not all dark. And they're really not dark. I mean, think about it. I think it's not dark at all. And then we got now I have the Halloween version, and it's got the same agenda, same stuff. It's just a cover. If you prefer this cover to this cover, then you get your thing. The thing is, this one is actually compressed, so it's a smaller book, and this one's just a larger book. It doesn't mean that they have more than one another. It just means a different style, more of a different style. I mean, if you like this cover here, or you like this cover here, I can read one from here. Maybe another one. That's all. It's got the same one. It has the same poem as you read. We'll read this one. This is one I'm going to read from. See? The Halloween version. Ice cream shop. A woman was eating a strawberry sundae when she bit into a severed finger. She screamed. The con man laughed because earlier he accidentally chopped his finger off and he didn't know where it went to. He thought about all the times the woman came into the parlor for the past 20 years and never said hello. He thought, smiling, she never tipped me too. The man took the severed finger from the table and put it back on the Sunday to keep it cool. He drove to the nearest hospital and asked them to sew it back. And they did. The man laughed out loud, thinking, if my nuts fall off. A lot of people like nuts on ice cream. Well, that's just the Halloween version. Dead poetry. Similar, very similar. There's not really much to figure out what's going on. So we'll put that here. Put that here. Short screenplays. It's got some nice things going on. This is an end of the world storybook. I try to navigate and say that it's better to read end of the world catastrophes than experience end of the world catastrophe. And here's the back. My picture on it when I was younger, when I wrote it. And let's see, I could read a little bit from it. You guys usually get the desert if you're like looking at these books. You get the desert. I'm going to go to a different story, and this way we'll get away from the desert for now. Okay. It's called The Dead Cry Mary. It's the second screenplay. And I'll read a little bit. It's a short screenplay book. So it's a screenplay book. It's not just a regular book. It's got different types of punctuation and style of the writing. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a different style of writing, narrator and people's names and who talks, stuff like that. It's got a different style. Anyways, I'm gonna start it off a little bit. Okay, it's about gang warfare, meaning gangs on the street are just killing off each other for racism and all this kind of stuff, and things like that. Okay, here we go. Narration, fade in, narration. We can see Gangster Cemetery, a 400-yard cemetery for all the gang members slain. Tombstones fill out most of the 400 yards. It has been a cemetery for all gang members because no one sees to a proper burial. The government donated the cemetery because a hole in the ground to put dead bodies is a lot more sanitary than dead bodies laid on the streets. Tall trees cover perimeters. The dead don't have any color. They have the same color, the color of dead. Okay, so we'll just read a little more. 1. Exterior, interior house in Manhattan. Night 1. Exterior means outside, and interior means inside. So it says exterior, interior house in Manhattan. Night 1. 2 masked punks pour gasoline into a house, and one of the masked punks lights a cigarette, dropping it on the poured gasoline. The house goes up in flames. The punks run out of the house and let it burn. They wait outside and look at the house burn. Then the thugs get into the black 1973 Mustang and drive off through the streets of Manhattan. So that's what we've got so far. This has not been on the internet or stuff like that. This is some little stuff that we're putting together, things you haven't read. So I got enter here, exit there, and I got of course short screenplays. I'm gonna put it there because very similar to original. We're gonna try enter here, exit there. This is mostly poetry, or all poetry. Enter here, exit there, and it's the Dead Poetry 2 from from the Dead Poetry, the black book I have. It's just a continuation. It's just poetry added on here, and so it's it's all together, really. So, let's see if you can see it. Dead Poetry 2. Dead Poetry 2. Back cover, which was my front cover, but I changed it. So let's read something. Enter here, exit there. I'm just trying to check out what time is it. I'm looking for 244. It doesn't show up on anywhere except when I tell you it is 244. It's actually a 406 page or 8 page book. It's worth the price. It's expensive, I know, but it's worth it. Okay, 9 months 1. My wife was pregnant. She did a test, a do-it-yourself test. I jumped for joy. I hope it's a boy. She tells me the test doesn't say if it's going to be a boy or girl, but I wanted to think that way. She sadly says, how about if it's a girl? I was not ready for that question. My nerves were unsteady. Okay, I give it some thought. Okay, a girl will be fine. Just fine, she says. I was starting to sweat. Oh, okay, it's wonderful, I shouted. Then I say, can't I think it will be a boy? For crying out loud? No, she says, because you'll go out for boys, go out to buy toys just for boys. If you go out and buy anything, it's better for a girl or a boy. Okay, how long do I have to wait for my baby boy? 9 months. 9 months. I'll never make it. I don't know why this is doing this, but it's great. So that's 9 months, and there's number 3, 9 months 2, 9 months 3, and it becomes very comical, especially if you ever had a child with one of your partners or so, you would see that it's comical. So, okay, we're gonna go and do the last one. Letters to and from Heidi Meinschatz. This book I dedicated it to my girl. You'd have to read a little bit about more of the book to see what's going on. I could read a couple little stories here and how we interacted. It's called Letters to and from Heidi Meinschatz. And here it is. So, and we talk about our childhood years to adult years, what we've done in each other's country. She was from Germany originally, and then she went to live in America. And I'm from Portugal, and I came to live in Canada. And we were on the internet talking with each other, and we enjoyed each other, enjoyed each other's company, talking to one another. So, well, here's Heidi talking. I'll do one of Heidi's, and I'll do one of mine. She goes, "Letter to my dear Joe," and the title is called "The Cabbage Run." In Germany, and this is for younger folks, but once you get through the younger childhood memories, then you go to teenagers to adult, it's more serious. So it's not a good idea to get the kids involved after the teenage years. Anyways, The Cabbage Run. Letters to my dear Joe, to me. In Germany, I wanted to know about my childhood and growing up when I was in Germany until the time we got together. I'm trying to think of something cute and funny. Well, here it goes. When I was a girl in Germany, me and my friend used to visit a farm. We liked calling it our grocery store. There were two dogs who patrolled the farm. One dog was called Snoopy, and another dog was called Sasha. They were both German Shepherd dogs. Sasha was a mean dog. People say Sasha ate a whole kid in one bite, but Snoopy was a gentle dog, very friendly to me and my friend. Me and my friend walked to a cabbage patch in the farm. We seen a lot of cabbages. Some were huge, bigger than me. I plucked out a huge cabbage, but my skinny legs bent carrying it. My friend just got a regular sized cabbage. Me and my scrawny legs and my friend ran out of there fast. I was sweating. Boy, this cabbage is huge. But I didn't care. I used all my muscles to keep running home. A German Shepherd dog ran after us, barking and wagging its tail and licking us. It was Snoopy from the farm. I thought, thanks God it wasn't Sasha. My friend vanished and probably went home. I headed towards my house. My legs looked like skinny twigs about to crack as I was carrying my massive cabbage. I thought about Sasha, who could gobble a whole kid in one bite. I got scared thinking about Sasha even more, so I ran faster. When I got home with the huge cabbage, I went over to the sink and started washing it. I grabbed the biggest pot I could find in the kitchen and I put it on the stove. I used a jug as I would fill up the pot with water. When the pot was almost full of water, I turned the stove flame on. I might have been a cabbage thief, but my mom taught me to cook. I got a cleaver knife and went to chop my cabbage in smaller bits. I would put the cabbage bits in a huge pot with boiling water. I'm making cabbage soup. I peeled and cut up some potatoes and put that in the huge pot. I put some baby carrots in too. People called them carrots, bunny rabbit carrots. I was letting the pot boil. I'm cooking the food in the pot. My sister Elsie came home and came into the kitchen where I was. She was carrying her accordion strapped around her body. She looked at me. "What are you up to, Heidi?" Elsie said. I responded with, "I'm cooking cabbage soup for everyone." "No wonder I smell something cooking. You trying to butter up Mom and Dad, Heidi?" Elsie said. I stuck my tongue out at Elsie, and Elsie stuck her tongue out back at me. Elsie played a few chords on her accordion. My sister Elsie was my twin sister. We looked exactly alike. Elsie was a year older than me. My parents came home and went into the kitchen, joining me and my sister Elsie. Give me 1 sec. My dad sniffed in the air. "What's that smell in the kitchen?" Dad said. Then my dad and Mom looked into the huge pot. "Cabbage soup," my dad said. My parents saw me and Elsie smiling. "It is I who is cooking soup. I borrowed a huge cabbage from the farm." I told my parents that Elsie should come with me sometimes and get goodies with me. That if Sasha is around, Elsie could play the accordion for a savage beast, calm the beast. "No way, Heidi, that I'm going with you. That savage might not like polka and ruin my accordion," Elsie said. I stuck my tongue out at Elsie. My father came to my rescue. What's that for, Heidi? That's your sister, you?" "No, Heidi," Dad said. I told my dad I was cleaning my tongue. "Well, clean your tongue inside your mouth," Dad said. Elsie stuck her tongue out at me as my mom came to Elsie's rescue. You cleaning your tongue too, Elsie?" Mom said. Elsie smiled yes, and we all laughed about it. I told everyone there was at least 3 bowls of cabbage soup for everyone. Elsie unstrapped her accordion and came over as we both hugged. We both love each other so much. I play harmonica, and of course, Elsie plays an accordion. We are a band. Elsie asked me, "When can we play together?" "Heidi, the fair opens on Saturday if we get there. Early, we can make good tips," Elsie said. I thought that made good sense, going early as people haven't spent all their money yet. "Saturday in the morning it ends," I told Elsie. She smiled at me. "That's peachy," Elsie said. Mom took over the cooking of the cabbage soup and told all of us when it was ready to serve. "Heidi, that was some big cabbage. It is enormous. Why did you carry such a big cabbage?" Mom said. I told my mom I had muscles. I flexed my arms for Mom. I told her, showing off my skinny arms. Mom, Dad, and Elsie laughed. That's why I used Mom your biggest pots. The huge cabbage wouldn't fit in the smaller pots. Soup is ready, Mom said. And this is a little poem following it. I got a fly in my soup. I cry, oh, me, oh my, a fly. Grammy gets a soup, gets a spoon, and takes out the fly. I tell Grammy you took out the fly. If I eat the soup now, will I die? Grammy laughs like a mad giraffe. My soup is yummy in my tummy. Hey, I'm young. You say stomach, I say tummy. Go home and ask your mummy. And so, this is the... I was going to read more, but it just looks like my throat's not too good. This is from the childhood memories of the letters to and from Heidi. So, that's what it is. I'm going to take off my glasses. There we go. I need prescription glasses. This one's was handed down to me. Oh boy. So I'm going to try to call this video reading a little bit of my books. So you got an idea. I don't know. I don't think people know me about my books or anything like that. I think they see me on the internet, but nobody's really given me a chance to like read some of it or get involved in it or at all. It's okay. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna sign off. It looks like 27 minutes of video, but I was trying to look for that down there, man. 27 minutes of video. There's a lot of video. So I'm going to try to call this reading my books, I guess. And you guys can have a good one. Hopefully we get good weather. And have a peaceful day. Okay. Thanks, guys.